Tesla has surprised us with a new, most affordable version of the Model Y, which we all thought was just not going to happen, mainly because Elon Musk told us so. The InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney will be here to talk about what might have changed the mind of now the richest man in the world. Biden may be getting a second life from Apple's biggest manufacturer. Tesla Model S is getting yet another worthy competitor, this time from NIO. General Motors has been busy unveiling its new logo, showcasing Lyric's new cool user interface, and announcing they will be making electric cars for Honda and Acura. Mercedes-Benz showcased their 56-inch hyperscreen with their new UI for the upcoming EQS, and the fastest production car, electric of course, goes on sale from a brand you might have never heard of before. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If this is your first time here, that's okay. All you have to do is click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Now, before we get to our top story, you're probably wondering, Alex, what's up with the hat? You never wear hats. Why aren't you showcasing your silver fox hair? Well, it is under construction. And, I share everything with you guys. I'm pretty honest. So after a long while of research, I've decided to get myself hair transplant. I've decided to go with Bosley. So in the next few weeks and really months, you will see all of my little bald spots fill in with new hair. My hairline will come back where it used to be years ago. And by the way, if you're interested in doing something like that, I've done all of this research for you. But while I was at Bosley, they gave me access to some of their discounts and an information kit that's free. So if you want to try it all out, I put that in the description of this video, or you can just go to bosley.com/e. But enough about me, let's get to our top story. So let's talk about the Tesla Model Y. Well, remember at the unveiling, there was an entry-level model that was pretty affordable, under $40,000. But then later on, Elon said, well, no. The range is going to be unacceptable. We're not going to be making it. Well, guess what? They're making it. They are making the most affordable version, the entry-level version of Model Y. It's going to be a little more expensive, just under $42,000, but it is $8,000 less than the cheapest version right now. It's going to have a 244 mile of a range, which Elon called unacceptable back in July. Apparently now it's acceptable. It is acceptable to me. Anything over 200 miles, I think, will be suitable for majority of the consumers. And it's going to have a long-awaited third row option. It's going to be a 7-seater, though I gotta say, there's really not that much space there. Definitely very, very tight. Now, the big question, of course, why did Tesla change their minds again? Well, they've probably improved their margins, so this version does make more financial sense, but really, there are quite a few crossover SUVs at around $40,000 before the incentives that are coming to the market this year, and this will definitely make Tesla more competitive. For more, we turn to the man who still has a full set of hair despite the fact that he has to answer my questions on a weekly basis, and the InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney. But before that, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by XPeng Motors, China's leading smart EV automaker that just announced its expansion plan for Europe, and first deliveries have already started. For more, follow XPeng Motors on Facebook using the link in the description of this video. And by Climate Exchange, the Tesla raffle is still going on. You can win a Tesla of your choice. Only 4,000 tickets were available, but only a few are still left. So make sure to get yours using the link in the description of this video. And even if you don't win, the money will go towards a great environmental cause. All right, Tom, well, this was unexpected news, but at the same time, do you think that Elon just made Model Y, already pretty much slated to be the most popular EV on the market this year, to be even more popular, to compete with Volkswagen ID.4, Mustang Mach-E, and many other electric cars that are coming out this year? Was that the goal?
I think that's got to be part of it, Alex. We are having these new crossover compact SUVs that are kind of in the Model Y's class, coming to market just now, and boom, $8,000 less for the Model Y. So yeah, I definitely think some of it is in, as a response to some of these lower cost options coming in play. But, I also believe that this was, this was going to happen sooner or later anyway.
even though Elon said that it wasn't going to, as a matter of fact, he kind of tweeted out saying that, this is not really acceptable. The range is too low. Do you think what changed his mind?
So it's hard to tell in the world of Elon. Did he change his mind? On the surface, you'd say, oh, yeah, he must have, but maybe not. Who knows? I mean, he might have just put that tweet out there 6 months ago so people didn't hold back and wait for the standard range. Obviously, Tesla's been doing this push every year to sell as many cars to hit their goals. What if, 10,000 Model Y owners held off and didn't order a car because they wanted the standard range plus? So you just don't know. I hope that's not the case, because it's kind of, it's bad business, saying, no, we're not going to have that. Now buy your Model Y, the more expensive one, and then 6 months later, oh yeah, we're going to offer the less expensive one. So who knows? But it certainly wouldn't be the first time that a CEO has misled the public.
No, it looks like the price is going to be, at 42,000, exactly the same as Volkswagen ID4, the vehicle that's definitely going to compete with it. But don't forget, the Volkswagen has the $7,500 federal tax advantage here in the United States. Give me a quick comparison of those two, because it looks like they will be the main competitors to each other at this point.
Yeah, so the range is about the same. The Model Y, I think, is 6 miles lower on the EPA range rating. The price, actually, the Volkswagen does have a slight advantage there, Alex. It's $800 less. So, every penny counts. And plus it has the $7,500 federal tax credit, which, definitely helps. It would be a lot better if it was a point of sale rebate, but still in all, the tax credit is there, and that certainly gives it the advantage. Now, the Model Y has the advantage in performance. Even the standard range plus, it performs much faster than the ID4. I don't know if many ID4 owners really care if the car goes 0 to 60 in 6 seconds or 7.5 or 8 seconds. Really, I just don't think that's the target market segment for that. But Tesla still carries that cachet that when you're driving a Tesla, even though they're not premium cars, it still has that, it carries that aura around it that, say, Volkswagen doesn't. So you definitely have that, that status advantage with Tesla. That matters to some people. Some people it doesn't matter. The ID4, I still think, is probably a better choice for like a family on a budget that just needs to haul people around and looking for, inexpensive transportation. I think the ID4 is still a better buy, but the Model Y is a little bit more exciting, a little bit more futuristic, and I think this lower price variant, Alex, is going to do well personally.
All right, we should probably also point out really quickly that the federal tax rebate kind of acts as a point of sale a rebate when you lease a car, so that's kind of an exception. That's why I think leasing is very attractive to a lot of people. Now, also the secondary news here is that Model Y will now offer a third row seats. There will be 2 of them, so therefore it will become a 7-seater. How big of a deal is that? Obviously, I'm just a single guy. I don't even think I have 6 friends here in Sacramento to ride with me, but is it really that big of a deal? And does this make Model Y even more competitive?
Well, for big families, it's a big deal. It's not meant for you and your 6 friends to drive around. It really is meant for, a family that might have, 4 kids that, with the 2 adults, and you can't put the 4 kids in the second row. I'm still not sold on how functional that third row seating is going to be. I've been in enough Model Ys that I just can't figure out how they're going to package it. I hope I'm wrong, but I almost think that, that you're going to have no legs to be able to sit in that third row. I guess small children, it won't matter that much on, but I guess that's what they're making this for. It's not meant to put 2 6-foot adults in that third row seating. No way. But, let's see. Maybe somehow they figured out a way to get enough room for adults to get their feet down in there. I don't see it. I know the Model Y. I don't know how there's going to be enough room back there for adults to sit back there. But presumably it isn't for adults. It's probably just for large families. You got to put the kids back there.
By the way, Tom has his own YouTube channel. Who doesn't at this point? But it's really good, so you should definitely subscribe to it. I put a link in the description of this video. Elon Musk is now the richest man on earth, and now that the stock price has gone up once again and passed $800 per share, which makes Tesla worth over $750 billion. And since Musk owns around 20% of it, he is now worth over $190 billion. I remember I felt like such a rebel back in 2012 when I got my first Tesla, and now look, Tesla is the largest automaker in the world. Elon is the richest man on earth. So if you're a Tesla fan in 2021, I don't know if you can really feel like a rebel anymore. But I don't know, maybe you can. Let me know in the comment section of this video. Tesla was my first love, but Biden was my true love. I was rooting for that brand ever since their unveiling a few years ago at the CES. Unfortunately, last year they kind of went belly up, which broke my heart, but not so fast. It looks like they might just get a second chance. Apple's biggest manufacturing partner in China, Foxconn, is just about to invest $200 million into Biden and also provide them with some supply chain management and operational support, with hopes to bring the M-Byte all-electric SUV back to life to production in the first quarter of 2022. Obviously, it's going to be limited to the Chinese market, but if you ask me, it's not going to happen. Definitely not within 1 year. From what I know, and I've done a lot of research last year about what really happened, the M-Byte all-electric SUV is more than 1 year away from production. From what I found out, it's 1 year away just in development and design alone, but you still have to hire all of these people that they've lost, which is pretty much everybody, and then still create the relationships with suppliers. So if you ask me, we're looking at least 2 years plus. But of course, no matter what, I will continue rooting for them because I would love to see the M-Byte on the streets of any country, even if it's just limited to China. General Motors has been really stepping it up with the new Lyriq, with the Hummer EV, the second generation Bolt, the Ultium battery platform, and so many other ways how they are finally moving in the right direction, and they have decided to change their logo just for the 5th time in their 113-year history. Now, as you can see, 3 of them are essentially identical. It's like someone was just playing with an Instagram filter. So I would say this is the 3rd design in 113-year history. GM is also rolling out Everybody In campaign with this commercial of people standing on top of their new Ultium platform. This is about the Generation E, and I wonder what E stands for. Now, GM has also announced that they're going to be making 2 crossovers for Honda in 2023 and Honda's luxury brand Acura in 2024 using their Ultium platform, which kind of means that Honda has given up on trying to create a decent electric car. But I guess we knew that when we saw the Honda E. Now, in the last few years, Honda and GM did work together on the battery tech, self-driving tech, and a few other technologies, but I didn't realize that Honda was there just for the emotional support, apparently, and not to actually do some work. Well, good for GM for stepping it up, but at this point I'm wondering, what's the point of Honda sticking around moving forward? As I mentioned, one of the first electric vehicles that GM has unveiled recently was the Cadillac Lyriq with 300 miles of range, 150 kilowatts of maximum DC charging. It will be priced just under $60,000, and deliveries are supposed to start next year. As you probably also remember, in a recent story, GM has decided to buy out all of the Cadillac dealerships that decided they did not want to sell electric vehicles, including Lyriq, which showed me GM's real commitment to Cadillac brand, leading them into the electric future. This week, GM has teased the new user interface, which was designed to go on the 33-inch curved display in the Lyriq. When I saw it back in March, it was absolutely beautiful. It will also have a dual plane HUD, which is essentially an augmented reality head-up display. GM has brought in a video game industry specialist to design this user interface, just like they did with the Hummer EV. This will be fully unveiled at the CES next week. GM wasn't the only brand to showcase their awesome user interface to rival Tesla. Mercedes-Benz has also jumped in and unveiled their UX that will go into the all-electric EQS, which will debut later this year. As you probably know, I absolutely fell in love with their concept car, which I got to test drive in Los Angeles last year, and now we kind of have a teaser image of what the car will look like, and I cannot wait. This user interface will live on a 56-inch combined hyperscreen, which will span from pillar to pillar, which of course reminds me of Biden. I guess that wasn't a silly idea after all. This user interface will adapt to its users. For example, you won't need to search for functions. The functions will find you, I guess, like bill collectors. And the front passenger will get a piece of that screen as well. So I guess the UX wars are heating up, and I think as consumers will have some really amazing and beautiful choices in the next couple of years. And as a former UX designer, I am very excited. Tesla better hurry up with their refresh of the Model S, because they're getting yet another worthy, beautiful competitor. This one is in China from the brand called NIO. If you watch my channel regularly, you should be familiar with them. This is their fourth electric vehicle. They are calling it ET7. It will be priced under 70,000 American dollars. That's before subsidies, and it will be even less if a consumer decides to go with their battery subscription service. And the first deliveries are due in the beginning of the next year. The autonomous driving tech will include a LiDAR and will be offered as a monthly subscription service, just like Tesla is doing with their full self-driving package, though NIO claims theirs will be better, but of course only time will tell. The ET7 will have a dual motor. It will go 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds, and of course it will feature the industry's cutest personal assistant, Nomi. The ET7 will feature 150 kilowatt-hour battery, which will produce over 500 miles of EPA equivalent range that will be available late in 2022, and at the end of 2022, NIO promises to have a solid-state version of that battery as well. Though at launch, the ET7 will only offer the 70 and 100 kilowatt-hour battery versions, which will translate into about 270 and 400 miles of EPA equivalent range. The good news is that all batteries in all NIO models are swappable, which brings me to remind you about my most favorite feature of this brand that no other brand has, which is their battery swapping stations, which is the only way to get your battery from 0 charge to 100 charge at around the same time as you can refuel your gas car. NIO has 170 battery swapping stations in China at this point, but they are targeting 500 by the end of this year. They're also coming out with a second faster version this year. Let me introduce you to the fastest production car in the world that's just gone on sale this week, which you probably have never heard of. When I did a story for you a couple of years ago about the Aspark Owl, it looked like a high school project that was done on the back parking lot, and it was kind of amazing, but at the same time, I never thought it would go anywhere. But guess what? It went somewhere. It was originally introduced at the Frankfurt Motor Show 3 years ago. The company is based in Japan. They will be building 50 of these. It is an exotic brand with a starting price of $3.5 million, but it will accelerate 0 to 60 in, ready for this, 1.7 seconds with the help of both motors combining for almost 2,000 horsepower. It will have an estimated range of about 240 EPA equivalent miles, though I'm assuming people who buy these cars drive that in about, I don't know, a year? It will fit in nicely with other electric hypercars that are kicking butt, and of course I'm talking about Rimac's C2 and Automobili Pininfarina's Bautista. We are only a couple of weeks into the new year, but things are already getting pretty exciting, and if you're wondering what to watch next, why not watch a video about all of the new electric car models that are coming on the market this year? I put together a whole video about it, so check it out. I put a link to it in the description of this video, and of course if you're watching me on YouTube, you can click on that card up there in that corner. All right, I am looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.